11 years ago, the Texas Rangers acquired a young infielder named Michael Young from the Toronto Blue Jays. Since then, he's become the Rangers' all-time leader in hits and is just 11 away from reaching the 2,000-hit milestone. More importantly, he's the second leading hitter in the American League at .337, including a 3-for-4 performance last night against Toronto. Michael's torrid bat, combined with the pitching of lefty Derek Holland, are keys at the Rogers Center today on Fox Sports Southwest. It is sunny. The roof is open at the Rogers Center for this matchup of young left-handers today. Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays. And welcome, Dave Barnett along with Tom Grieve. First, an update about Nelson Cruz, who left last night's game with tightness in his left quad. He felt it as he was playing catch before an inning. He says today he's not in any pain. He is not in the starting lineup, but is available to pinch hit. And if he is needed, he will carry a very hot bat into the game.
No doubt about it. He got the Rangers started in last night's game. They hadn't been able to score off Brett Cecil. He shut him out in Arlington, second inning. About as hard a hit line drive as you'll ever see into the Blue Jay bullpen. That gave the Rangers a 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, Nelly came up later, would have come up later in the game at a time when they needed him. He was out of the game. They'll miss him today against the left-hander. In his last 9 games, he's been hot. In the month of July, he's driven in 26 runs. Not having that right-handed bat in the lineup will be a disappointment for the Rangers today.
And we showed you the pitching matchup. Derek Holland has been pitching extremely well and has had some difficulty against Toronto, which he hopes to straighten out today against Brad Mills, just called up for this first start.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything about Toronto necessarily that's been the problem. It's been that Derek may not have had his best command when he's faced Toronto. In this month, he's had 2 shutouts. His last game was a terrific game against Minnesota, 6 innings, no earned runs. He's also had 2 starts. One, he only went 2/3 of an inning. 1 and 5 1/3 to the Angels. He gave up 7 runs. So he's been a little bit inconsistent, but when he's been good, he's been really good.
That describes Mike Napoli, too. A home run last night, and for the month of July, he is the top hitter in both the major leagues. Napoli behind the plate again today. Game 2, the Rangers try to even up this series against the Blue Jays. We've got the lineups and the first pitch coming up. This Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By Jack in the Box, Jack's really big chicken sandwich combo is back for only $3.99. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. It is a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Toronto. The roof is open. Very pleasant last night and should be so today. They have had some very hot weather the last couple of days, but today is ideal as we look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers, and this is a very different look. Kinsler again leading off, and then Omar Quintanilla giving Elvis Andrus a scheduled day off at short. Michael Young moves up to third. Josh Hamilton getting an unscheduled day off. Mike Napoli moves up to cleanup at catcher. Mitch Moreland playing right field. Yorvi Torrealba again DHing. He had done that only in 2005 before yesterday. David Murphy getting the start in left field with Chris Davis at third base and Andy Chavez batting ninth in center field, and they will face 26-year-old Brad Mills.
Season debut, although he's had parts of 3 seasons in the big leagues. He's had 9 career major league games. This season at AAA, a nice record, 9-7. In the Pacific Coast League, you tend to give up a lot of runs in that league, a lot of hitters ballpark, so an ERA under 4 is pretty solid. He was a 4th-round pick back in 2007 out of the University of Arizona. He'll face a lineup for the Rangers that is unusual in that there will be 5 left-handed hitters facing the left-hand pitcher. seldom will you see that.
Ron Washington saying before the game that he thinks this lineup can bring the Rangers out of some offensive doldrums, as you see the defensive alignment with Davis getting the start in left field, John McDonald at second, Encarnacion at first, and again Aaron Sebia, the Rangers' newest nemesis, is behind the plate. So here is Kinsler stepping in, trying to end an 0 for 19.
Yeah, the lineup with all the lefties is one thing. The bad part about it is not having the two key right-handers, Nelson Cruz and Adrian Beltre.
Mills not a hard thrower, but had success at AAA Las Vegas. He was a candidate to make their rotation a couple of years ago, outpitched in the spring by Ricky Romero. Got a couple of starts that year, both against the Phillies. And last year, up for 7 appearances, including 3 starts. He is 1-1 as a major leaguer.
He's actually in AAA this year, got an ERA of about a run and a half better than Brett Cecil did while he was in AAA. Thing is, Brett Cecil has made some changes, tweaked his delivery a little bit, and he's had a lot of success, most of it against the Rangers since he's done that. But if you're a left-hander and you don't throw very hard, you've got good off-speed pitches, and you're Brad Mills, I'm sure you've watched how he pitched the Ranger hitters and the success that he had when he was behind in the count using his off-speed pitches. And I'd be surprised if Mills didn't try to pitch the same way today.
He has had a lot to go to school on, and the Rangers, if they never see Brett Cecil again, that will be just fine with them.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how Cecil pitches with his tweaked delivery against teams he faces after the Rangers.
Well hit ball by Kinsler, but Rajai Davis is there near the corner for the first out of the game. Now Omar Quintanilla. And again, Wash said that he had planned to give Elvis Andrus the day off today. Last night 1 for 3, a bunt single, and Omar in his 3rd game with the Rangers. His 1 hit was a triple Monday in that offensive shower of runs and base hits against the Minnesota Twins. Actually made his Ranger debut last Friday against this Toronto team, a game in which Adrian Beltre injured his hamstring. He came in and scored 2 runs in that game. But the first of the 5 left-handed hitters in Washington's lineup today. Omar, 5 years with the Colorado Rockies. El Paso native, University of Texas product, where he played on a College World Series champion. And that breaking ball from Mills looking very Cecil-like. Mills has added a cutter, which we expect will be on display in this game. There's very little difference in terms of how lefties hit him and righties hit him. The numbers are almost identical, in fact, at AAA. This is left-handed hitters actually hit 2 points better, 268. Right-hand hitters hit 266. And his 2-2 pitch to Quintanilla got him swinging, out number 2. Here the Ranger first.
Well, Mills' fastball in the first inning is about 86 miles an hour, which is well below average as far as velocity goes. But when you see Omar swing at it, it looked like a 93 mile an hour fastball. And he throws a changeup. It's a nice curveball. He's only thrown a couple. So far, so good for Mills.
Well, that is the very definition of a soft tossing lefty there. And his first pitch is in there to Michael Young. Michael last night 3 for 4, couple of doubles, his 18th 3-hit game of the year. As is the case in so many categories, only Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox has more. So Michael, who had been moved up to cleanup in the absence of Beltre, moves up to the 3 spot today with Josh Hamilton getting a day off. Washington says he'd been trying to get Josh a day off because he played all the way through the All-Star break, of course. Said his energy level looked a little low yesterday and decided to make today his rest day. Bautista throws out Young, and a 1-2-3 first inning for Brad Mills. Nothing for the Rangers. Toronto coming to bat at the Rogers Center. 75-degree Saturday afternoon, and their lineup, as brought to you by Southwest Airlines, again begins with Yunel Escobar, Colby Rasmus, their new acquisition from the Cardinals in center, Jose Bautista, homerless for a while now, batting third, playing third. Adam Lind is the DH. Encarnacion plays first base today with Thames in right, Davis, the former A, in left, John McDonald, veteran backup, getting a start at second, and Aaron Sevilla doing the catching. And Derek Holland tries to become the Rangers' 4th 10-game winner.
He's had 21 starts, and a lot of them have been really good. He's had several that have been really bad. And what he's trying to do is pretty obvious. Be more consistent. In his last 4 starts, the numbers are solid. 3-0 with 2.15 ERA. He's had 3 shutouts this year. That ties for the American League lead and gives a great example of why everyone thinks he can become a frontline starting pitcher in the big leagues. I don't think when you talk about Derek, you say he has the potential to be a number 3 starter. You say he has the potential to be a number 1 starter. Not many lefties, not many pitchers, period, can go out there and through 100 pitches, average 93, 4, 5 miles an hour, touch 96, sometimes even 97. And it's just a matter of becoming a little more consistent, which you would expect will happen with maturity.
1-2 to Escobar. One thing the Rangers definitely hope continues is the run support that Derek Holland has got. He's gotten the most of any starter in baseball this year, better than 7.5 runs per game scored behind him. And that one fielded behind the bag by Kinsler in time to get Escobar with the head first dive at first.
That's getting robbed right there, boy. That was a rope. That was a bullet right back at Derek, who knocked it down enough for Ian to react to it and make the play and just barely get Escobar at first base. Looked like it hit him in the wrist. Ian has time now to get it. That ball would have rolled fast into center field had it not been knocked down by Derek, and Ian's right there to make a nice reaction, a nice play.
A nice pick at first by Michael Young. Surprised that didn't knock his glove off. That was a rocket right back to the mound, but it goes 1-4-3 for the first out, and here is Rasmus. In his 3rd game with the Blue Jays, he is 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts so far, 3 in each game. Toronto got him an 8-player deal with the Cardinals. Rasmus, a first-round pick by St. Louis, 2005, off of what has to be one of the great high school teams in recent baseball history. One of 3 first-round picks off the Russell County high school team in Alabama. The other 2 came the following year. One, his brother Corey, first-round pick by the Braves. And the 3rd first-round pick was Casey Kiker, who was picked number 1 by the Rangers in 2006.
Yeah, you got a chance to have number 1 draft choices playing on a lousy team if you don't have any pitching in high school. But if you got a number 1 draft choice as your ace starter, that adds up to a pretty good lineup, pretty good team.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That team won the Alabama 5A championship and the mythical national championship as designated by Baseball America magazine. Rasmus' boys played for their father Tony there. And a pop-up out into shallow left field. Backing up is Quintanilla. And Holland retires the first 2 here in the first. Now Jose Bautista. who has bbeen stuck on 31 home runs now for 12 straight games, second longest homerless streak of his season. But he still leads the majors. And not just in home runs, in a number of other categories, including walks and on-base percentage. Holland has had success for the most part so far in these matchups with Bautista. He curves in there for a strike. Brian Runge is the home plate umpire this afternoon, with Tim McClellan at first, Ted Barrett at second, and Lance Barrett at third.
Derek can feature the same curveball that he just dropped in there for a strike. He'll have a good day. That was a really good curveball. Sharp breaking, down in the strike zone, right where you want it.
And another pop-up.
Oh, got him pop up a slider.
This time it is problems in the sun for Young. He was making it appeared the call. Kinsler was in the neighborhood. And then just as it started to come down, it became obvious that Michael had lost that. And that goes as a very lucky base hit for Bautista.
Yeah, just a guess, but I think if Mitch Moreland is playing first, Ian probably calls off Michael to catch that ball. But with Michael at first base looking up at a pop-up, you're pretty sure it's 100% going to be caught. Michael just couldn't handle that one because of the sun.
Even with the shade, sometimes that won't take care of the problem. So Adam Lind steps up, DHing today. And in a bit of a slump himself, 0 for his last 11 and just 2 for 16 on this homestand. 4 for 8 with a homer against Derek Holland.
And when you talk about consistency with Derek, a lot of it has to do with the consistency of his off-speed pitches, his curveball, slider, and changeup. The fastball is becoming more and more consistent, especially the velocity, which almost every start is 93 to 96. But to really make the fastball effective, the complementary pitches are important too.
Bautista going on the play. Quintanilla near the bag at second base, and Omar throws out Adam Lind. So the pop-up lost in the sun does no damage to Holland and the Rangers. You can join us this Friday at the Arlington Convention Center and hear from the inductee this year, Kenny Rogers, and Rangers Baseball Hall of Famers Nolan Ryan, Jim Sundberg, Rusty Greer, and our own Tom Grieve. Tickets are still available at TexasRangers.com/Hall of Fame. Mike Napoli, the hottest hitter in the major leagues in the month of July, at .434 will lead off the Rangers' second. Batting cleanup today with the lineup that does not include Hamilton or Cruz. Mike yesterday 2 for 4 with a home run off of John Roush leading off the ninth inning that made it a 3-2 game. And the Rangers' hopes soared a little more when the next batter Moreland singled, but then Roush was able to retire the next 3 and pick up his 9th save and close out the win for Brett Cecil. Mills out in front of Mike. No balls and 2 strikes. And a ball and 2 strikes to Napoli. Of course, Mike very briefly was a Toronto Blue Jay for all of 4 days. Sent here by the Angels, quickly shipped down to Arlington for Frank Francisco. And it is 2-2. And there's been a change in the umpiring lineup from what we were originally handed. It is still Brian Runge behind the plate. It's Marvin Hudson at first, Tim McClellan at second, and Ted Barrett is at third. Bill's 2-2 pitch. Hammered foul. And today's Geico quote from Ron Washington, replacing Cruz last night. On this artificial surface, we weren't taking any chances. Cruz actually felt his left quad tighten up while he was playing catch with a ball boy between innings. But tested out fine. And a base hit by Mike Napoli leads off the Rangers' second.
And Mike is just having good at bats. That's all you can say. Behind in the count, he worked the count to 2-2. A little bit out in front of a changeup that he pulled foul. And had a good swing. Got a good piece of that line drive to left field. Stays hot. Good guy to have batting fourth right now, the way he's swinging the bat.
No kidding. 18 now for his last 35. Better than 500 over 10 plus games.
And Mike was down in the low 200s for a while. Spent some time on the disabled list, and now after this month he's up over 280 now.
So the Rangers have their first base runner against Mills for Mitch Moreland, whose bat is also starting to come alive. Mitch, a couple of hits last night, 5th multi-hit game in his last 7. And he moves up today from the 7 hole to hitting 5th. And that one is hit very well deep right center field and gone. A 2-run home run for Mitch Moreland, and the Rangers jump out in front.
Well, there's a couple notes in the paper today about Mitch's struggles against left-handed pitching and the fact that he hadn't hit a home run yet against the lefty. I guess you can't count the grand slam he hit off Gio Gonzalez because it didn't count. But he's on the board now. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. And with Mitch's power, when he hits a ball hard and gets it up in the air a little bit, there's not many parks that are going to keep it in the playing field. And he launched that to the deep part of the ballpark. Well hit ball. 2 well hit balls, Napoli and Mitch. After a quick, easy inning in the first inning for Mills, hasn't been that way in the second.
Number 13 for Moreland. His 32nd and 33rd runs batted in. And strike 1 to Yuri Torrealba, DHing for the 2nd straight game. The only other time in his career before last night he had ever DH'd was in 2005 when he was with the Mariners. Mills again hitting the outside corner. And Derek Holland has another early lead. It was unusual that the Rangers didn't get it to him in the first inning. They had scored in the first inning in 11 of his last 12 starts. That's just amazing. Today they wait till the second. And Escobar handles the ground ball by Torrealba. There's the first out. Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome. We are really glad to have you here. We hope you enjoy the broadcast today from Toronto. David Murphy takes ball 1. David's bat coming around the last few weeks. He's lifted it from 233 to 248 in just an 11-game span. And he is the 3rd of the 5 left-hand hitters against the left-handed starter today. And the bottom 3 in the order, all lefties: Murphy, Davis, and Chavez. High chopper and a tough play. McDonald can't make it. Murphy is safe.
Took that last high hop, maybe a little higher than McDonald had anticipated. He got his glove on it, couldn't hang on to it, and I guess they're going to give him a base hit on that one.
Yep. Infield hit for Murphy.
Take a look at McDonald coming after this high chopper right there. Just a little higher than he thought it was going to be. Got it in the tip of his glove, couldn't hang on to it. And if I'm the hitter, I would say thank you very much to the official scorekeeper on that one.
So 1 out, 2 runs in with Murphy now aboard, and here is Davis playing third base and hitting .250 this year with the Rangers. 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. Chris is 4 for 20 in 6 games back. This is third stint in the majors this year. Left side of the infield moving over. Bautista much closer to where the shortstop would normally play. Escobar not too far from second base. And still 0-2 to Davis. Brad Mills, as Tom said, from the University of Arizona, where he did not have a scholarship. He was a recruited walk-on. And actually drafted twice by Toronto, the 22nd round in 06. Says he really didn't consider that seriously signing then. He wanted to finish his degree in civil engineering. Backhand pick this time, McDonald. Nicely done, and they turn it into 2, 4-6-3. But the Rangers take the lead on the first career home run by Mitch Moreland against a left-handed pitcher. Edwin Encarnacion steps in and takes strike 1, leading off the Blue Jays second. Encarnacion at first base today. He'll be followed by Eric Thames and Rajai Davis. Chris Davis comes in, and his throw pulls Young off the bat, but he gets the tag down on Encarnacion.
We got a break right there. I think he was trying to decide whether to stop and throw it or whether to keep on going and throw on the run. And he had plenty of time, and so he got his steps coordinated with his throw, but the throw still sailed to the right. And watch Chris right here. Should he stop and throw? No, we're going to keep on running. Throw sails to the right, and Michael makes the tag.
And there was no argument from Encarnacion.
I didn't think he touched him when I saw it again. He must have touched him before I really noticed.
Strike 1 to Eric Thames. And this will be Young unassisted.
Good curveball right there.
Let's see if we can pick up the tag here on Encarnacion.
Must have been right there on the arm. Must have been on the arm. Because as his arm kept going, it didn't touch his body. It must have touched his arm right after he caught the ball.
And he did not appear to say a word to Marvin Hudson after being called out.
That's pretty good key that he was touched. Good play by Michael.
Ball 1 to Davis, who has become Toronto's 4th outfielder with the acquisition of Rasmus. Getting a start in left field today. Acquired to be their everyday center fielder from Oakland during the offseason. And he's got a lot of stolen bases. Second of the league with 31. But otherwise has not done much at all offensively, hitting just .239, a homer, 27 runs batted in. Blue Jays got him at the cost of 2 minor league pitchers during the offseason. And it's 2-2. Your chance to get in another game this summer and prepare for school to start is Sunday, August 7th, when the Rangers host the Indians at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans 13 and under will receive a red binder featuring 6 Rangers players. For tickets, visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS.
The umpire behind home plate, Brian Runge, threw the ball back to Derek behind him Derek tried to catch it behind his back. It rolled out to shortstop. And then Derek got the ball, didn't like it, and asked for another one. And Brian threw it back and said to Mike Napoli, the last one must have been my cutter. Kind of sailed on him a little bit.
Well, the 3-2 pitch down the right field line and just foul as Moreland gives chase. Good for an opposite field extra base hit there by Davis.
I like the way Derek's mixing in all his pitches. He's gotten an out, or could have gotten an out against Bautista with a slider. That's the ball that dropped in the infield for an infield hit. He's throwing some good curveballs and also a few changeups, a couple changeups.
What he has in store here at 3-2. It was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but low. There's his first walk. Introducing Fox Sports Game Connect, the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on to take part in the most interactive forum during Rangers games. Stats, trends, exclusive analysis, and live Twitter feeds. Plus, you can even share your thoughts with our game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect, now available on foxsportssouthwest.com. I had a question from Jeff for you, Tom. The difference between a pass ball and a wild pitch.
A passed ball is a ball that gets by the catcher that the official scorekeeper determines was a ball that he should have been able to catch. A wild pitch is a ball that gets by the catcher that usually is way over his head or bounces out in front of him, and the scorekeeper determines that it was such a bad pitch you can't expect the catcher to have been able to catch it. That would be a wild pitch. Both of them usually result in the exact same thing. One is the catcher's fault and one is the pitcher's fault.
Here's John McDonald trying to keep the second inning going. 36-year-old backup infielder making his 35th start. Fairly evenly distributed between second base, third base, and shortstop.
When you look at 2-out walks, sometimes you say, well, if you're going to walk somebody, that's not a bad time to do it. For instance, Jose Bautista. But when you look at a 2-out walk to Rajai Davis, it's a different story. You got a 240 hitter that's not a power hitter, whose main tool is that he can run and steal a base. And that's not a good walk with 2 outs and nobody on. That's a guy you want to make hit the ball, get on base with a hit.
Holland turns, fires, and the throw gets through Young and bounces into the stands. So Davis will have to stop at third base as McDonald reaches second base. And that error charged to Derek Holland, but also a base hit, so it's an infield single and an E1 from McDonald.
Yeah, so here, I think this is a situation where you're talking about the maturity of a young pitcher and gaining consistency. You get 2 quick outs, and then instead of putting away Davis, who's a 240 hitter, you walk him, and you set up the possibility for a rally. Then you get a bunt, and your assignment is to field your position. And you throw low. Now it's second and third, and instead of facing Aaron Sibia to start the next inning with nobody on, now you've got a guy that's been pretty hot against the Rangers and much more of a threat than Davis or McDonald up there with 2 men on. Just an example of how an inning can potentially get away from you because of a little bit of inconsistency.
And a swing and a miss at 94 from the man who won last night's game with 1 swing, which turned into a 3-run home run, his 17th of the year. No catcher in the league has more. That in the 5th inning, after Ogando had shut out the Blue Jays on 1 hit entering the 5th.
Now, those kind of walks, the other thing they do is they affect your pitch count, and they make it more difficult to pitch deep into a ball game. If you can put Davis away quickly, you may save yourself 10 pitches in an inning.
Long run here for this pop-up, and it falls foul and unplayable. 1-2. Moreland over for a look. Young racing back. Kinsler in the neighborhood as well. So yeah, it's going to be at least another half dozen pitches or so that Holland has to throw because of the walk to Davis.
Yeah, that's if he gets Arancibia right now.
Right.
Hopefully that's what happens. You know, the other things are a little more subtle. If you get Davis, you come out for the third inning, and the inning starts with John McDonald hitting 218, Arancibia hitting 220. Those are the first two hitters in the third inning. Because you walk Davis and because you throw away the ball on McDonald, now it gets back to the, if you get Arancibia, now it gets back to the top of the lineup, and that's a much more beneficial lineup to score a run when it's the top of the lineup instead of the eighth hitter leading off the third inning.
Missing high there, and it's 2-2. Derek really, after mixing his pitches early, concentrating on fastballs, now up to better than 80% fastballs, but hitting 94, 95.
I think one of the things that enters into it is the two home runs that we showed on Arancibia were both off-speed pitches. Maybe they feel like the best way to get him is by going after him with fastballs. Depends sometimes on the hitter. But I would say get Arancibia right here because Escobar is swinging the bat really well right now, and you don't want him to hit with the bases loaded. He's a good hitter, at least from what we've seen.
Let's see what Holland has at 3-2, and he gets him looking on the backdoor breaking ball.
Well, he threw them all fastballs, about 6 of them, and then 3-2, he drops the curveball on the outside corner.
So he gets himself into and out of trouble in the second. Brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Our world becomes their planet on August 5th. That's a frightening thought. But here at Rogers Center, on a 75 degrees sunsplash Saturday afternoon, the Rangers on a 2-run homer in the second by Mitch Moreland, on top of Brad Mills and the Blue Jays. Andy Chavez will lead off the third, followed by Kinsler and Quintanilla. Chavez entered the game last night when Cruz had to leave with the tight quad, went 0 for 2. And trying to bunt his way on here, but it turns into a very easy play for Mills.
Yep, the key, you have to get the ball by the pitcher, and ideally make the first baseman field it and beat the pitcher to the bag. Mills looks like a pretty good athlete, kind of guy that can handle that position and the quickness it takes to make that play pretty easily.
So here is Kinsler, who hit it very hard the first time up. Davis was able to make the play in left field. So the second time through the order now begins for Mills. We'll see how the Rangers handle him. 2 runs on 3 hits the first time through. And have we seen anything, Tom, above 87 miles an hour yet?
No, I think most of his fastballs have been around 85 or 86.
That's in there, 1 and 2.
If I were Mills, I'd be going back and looking at a lot of the games that Jamie Moyer pitched in his career. Because if Mills is going to have a long, successful career, that's the kind of pitcher he will probably end up trying to be. A pitcher without velocity on his fastball, but who compensated with a terrific changeup. So one of the better changeups, and big, slow curveball, and maybe as much as anything, pinpoint command of his fastball.
High pop up. This will come back out of play, and still 2 and 2 to Kinsler. And if I remember right, didn't it take a while before Jamie Moyer accepted the fact that he was going to have to be the soft tosser?
Yeah,
he
I'm not
was not
sure.
going to make much of a living with his fastball.
I'm not sure about the acceptance. He never really had a good fastball. I can remember the first game that he started for us early in the season was against Toronto, and he struck out 12 or 13 batters that day and had a great changeup. But he didn't develop with the Rangers. He didn't develop with a couple of the teams he was with. It was later on in his career, in his late 20s, when he went to Seattle, that he really started to develop.
Well, Mills takes care of Kinsler off speed, his second strikeout.
Yep, and you can see the good movement on the changeup. It goes down, and the way that he sells the pitch to the hitter by making it look exactly like his fastball. Said this many times, but the way a pitcher throws a changeup is you throw it exactly like you throw your fastball, just as hard as you throw your fastball, but you use a grip that makes it difficult to throw the ball as hard. So the motion looks to the hitter just like your fastball, but the grip makes the ball go 10 miles an hour slower.
Mills seems to be pretty good at that. The herky-jerky motion.
Oh, he just missed one there.
Quintanilla getting under that one. Trouble in the sun out there in right field for Thames.
Nice job of staying with the ball. Right at the last second, he stabbed at it, made the play. Quintanilla just got underneath it, or he would have had a home run himself.
Well, this sun directly overhead is really a challenge for both teams. Don't miss Verizon Wireless Fireworks Friday. The Rangers hosting the Indians this Friday. Enter Verizon as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com and purchase $10 tickets in select seating areas. And you also enjoy $5 cash parking and the usual post-game fireworks show every Friday. 2-0 Rangers, bottom of the third, at the top of the order for the Jays. Escobar, Rasmus, and Bautista. Eric Holland at 36 pitches, 23 strikes. And a pretty routine play for Chris Davis. He fires a strike this time to Michael Young. Our Ford leaderboard today. The Rangers continue to have the best team ERA on the road in baseball, and by a pretty wide margin over the Yankees. Part of that may be all the road games at Seattle and Oakland, offensive challenge to ball clubs, but the Rangers also made some pretty challenging road trips in interleague play. Places like Philadelphia and Atlanta were on that schedule. Rasmus grounds out to Kinsler.
And it's probably one of the reasons you don't see Oakland and Seattle on that list, because they pitch really well in their home ballparks and not quite as well on the road. But, you know, you can look for reasons for it, but the bottom line is the Rangers have done a great job pitching on the road. They've done a great job all season with their pitching, period. It's been a strength of the team. Starting pitching has been excellent.
Here's Bautista. Reached on an infield hit his first time up. This inning shaping up to be a very low pitch inning for Holland, after he had to throw all the extra pitches after the 2-out walk to Davis. And we're coming pretty close to Jose. Bautista's batting average has been well up in the 330s for a good part of this year, dropping off a little bit lately.
Let's try it again. Ian's going to take this one.
Seems to have a beat on it, no problem.
I think the angle that Ian's looking at is slightly different than the angle that Michael has, and it makes it easier for him.
6 pitches, all Holland needs. Game 2 of this 3-game series, wrapping up the season series between the Rangers and the Blue Jays. Derek Holland responding nicely to the jam that he created for himself in the second. Getting the 2 grounders and the pop-up, leaving just 6 pitches to to get Escobar, Rasmus, and Bautista taken care of in the bottom of the third. And now young Napoli and Moreland, 3, 4, and 5 in the Ranger lineup today against Brad Mills here in the fourth. Mills at 43 pitches, 30 strikes, only 13 balls so far. And he got Young on a grounder to third in the first. This time lifted high to left field, and Davis just in front of the track is there.
Right on that pitch. It was a changeup. He just a tad out in front of it, which caused it to hit the end of the bat and not carry the way it normally would. The last two batters have just missed. Michael just missed that, and Quintanilla just got underneath the fastball and lofted it to right for the last out of the last inning. I don't think we've seen the last of the home run ball today.
5 straight now retired by Mills.
One thing the Ranger pitchers have done, Ogando and Holland, they've handled Bautista with their fastball in this series. Bautista has not been able to really get out in front and drive a ball, and they've thrown him predominantly fastballs.
Napoli in the first, a hard hit single on a 2-2 pitch. Big looping curve there, and it's 0-2.
And it's probably one of the bigger slow curve balls that you'll see. Straight over the top. There it is again.
And he gets a roller for Escobar to take care of. And Mills has sat down the last 6 Ranger hitters. Mills not big at all, 6 feet 185. That's a very slight build for a modern major league starting pitcher, age 26. Native of Mesa, Arizona. And now Mitch Moreland, who his first time up homered for the first time in his career off a left-handed pitcher. It was a 1-0 pitch. Driven deep to right, his 13th home run of the year.
Mitch is apt to see some more breaking balls in this at bat like that after he hit the fastball. Mills threw the fastball on the inside half of the plate, and that's what happened to it. This time up, big slow curveball, just like the 2 that he threw to Napoli. Slider, cutter.
Mitch now with 2 RBIs today, 6 RBIs in his last 7 games. So the work that he did for really a couple of weeks with Scott Coolbaum on what Rangers hitting coach described as pretty minor adjustments, clearly paying off now. Mitch hitting a pitch like that out, where for a while he was just missing that pitch, fouling it straight back or popping it up, and it gets hit here and will take first base with 2 outs, and that brings up Torrealba.
Well, when you're facing a lefty and it's 0-2 and he hits you with an 86-mile-an-hour pitch, you pretty much say, okay, thanks, I'll take my base. You're in a tough hitting spot anyway. Down in the count. And it wasn't a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Still, though, when you hit right in the 8 like that, it doesn't feel too good.
Between the N and the D. So Torrealba now, he grounded to short back in the second. Was fishing for that slow breaking ball. One thing about the unusual lineup that Ron Washington has today, most of the guys that are in it have been swinging the bat very well lately. Torrealba among them. And a shot here for a base hit past McDonald. So a 2-out rally in the making here for the Rangers. Moreland down to second base. That brings up David Murphy.
The ball gets through the AstroTurf quickly. Of course, this is a really hard hit ball too. Nice swing. Going right with that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Nice level swing. Drive that ball back through the middle. No chance for McDonald. Good chance for David, though, to add to the lead right here.
His first trip, he reached on an infield hit. 5 for his last 9 with runners in scoring position. A 2-out chance here to add to the 2-0 lead. He continues to get a lot of first pitch strikes with his breaking ball. A lot of first pitch strikes, period. 12 to the first 16 batters he's faced. 55 pitches, only 16 have been out of the strike zone. And there's number 17, and one of the few times he's been behind in the count. He has yet to go to a 3-ball count. But he has now 3-1 and close to loading the bases for Chris Davis. This is not a spot start for Mills. He was not called up just because he's a lefty, and the Rangers have struggled with the soft tossing lefties. He's in the rotation for as long as he can hold down this spot. It was JoJo Reyes's until he was designated for assignment. Throw back behind, and Moreland gets away, not too far away. Pitch might be a little too far off the bag. So 3-1 now for Murphy. And ball 4. So after 2 quick outs here, Moreland hit on an 0-2 pitch. Torrealba singles on an 0-1 pitch. Murphy walks. They are loaded for Chris Davis.
It's kind of a similar thing that we were talking about with Derek Holland. When you get 2 quick outs, you got a left-hand hitter up there. You've gone ahead of him 0-2. Got a chance for a quick inning, get back in the dugout, and all of a sudden you've turned it into a real scoring threat right here for the Rangers.
Davis first time up, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play to end the second. Mills continues searching for the strike zone, which was not a problem at all the first 3 2/3.
This is a spot where Cecil last night would have gone to his slider or his changeup when he's in trouble behind in the count. And the Ranger hitters just couldn't counteract that all night long.
Davis again with a ground ball for McDonald to end another inning. So the Rangers load the bases with 2 outs on a hit batsman, a single, a walk. Can't take advantage. They still lead 2-0. 1973. What is that? 38 years ago today, Jim Bibby throws the first no-hitter in Rangers history. What team did he beat, and who was the losing pitcher? And Tom Grieve, you're disqualified.
Well, I know who the team was, but I'm not sure I remember who the losing pitcher was.
Really?
I could take a guess and narrow it down to being 25% right.
Well, you had a hit against him, if that's any help at all.
On that particular day?
Yes. Let's see if that jogs your memory or not.
No, I had a few hits in my career, so it doesn't narrow it down on that staff.
1 and 2 to Adam Lynn.
I can't say the pitchers, otherwise they would know who the hitter is. I mean, who the team is.
And Holland taking a moment for some spike maintenance. Lynn grounded to short his first time up, now at an 0 for 12. And waves at the breaking ball.
Overmatched him there. Hard slider.
Question now for our Fox Sports Southwest.com Game Connect, and it comes from Robert. 120 degrees today in the Sinai. Can you sense some cool weather?
I wish we could do that for you. Wow.
Well, not to rub it in.
I'm not going to complain about 102, that's for sure.
Ever again. Good breaking ball backdoor to Encarnacion.
I don't even know what it would. I don't know how you function when it's 120.
Somehow they manage.
Wow.
Carrying 40, 50, 60 pounds on their backs. Deep to center field. Chavez. 2 outs.
Yeah, it's one thing if it's 120 and you're lying in the shade at the beach or something, but 120 dressed with that on, working, man.
She's hydrating pretty well, but it's only 75 degrees here. Wish we could send this weather to you, Robert. But we hope you're enjoying the broadcast there. Eric Thames now. He grounded to first. And Holland firing strikes here in the 4th inning.
Good fastball right on the inside corner. Working quickly, using all his pitches. So far, so good. Both sides of the plate. 1 in, 1 out.
Back inside, breaks his bat on the slow roller.
That's great location with your fastball. What a great idea. In, out, in, broken bat, 3 pitches. Got the hitter going back to his position, talking to himself with sore hands.
A 9-pitch inning on the heels of a 6-pitch inning. On this day, 1973, Jim Bibby threw the first no-hitter in Ranger history. What team did he beat? The A's beating Vida Blue 6-0 at the Coliseum. And you, sir, have a base hit in support of Jim Bibby.
Well, Jim Bibby was a great teammate. Jim passed away a while back, unfortunately, much too early. But when he was on the mound, he was big, he was strong, and he threw hard. And we weren't using radar guns back then, but it was probably 94 to 97, right around in there. And there were a lot of hitters that begged out of the lineup, or at least wanted to beg out of the lineup when he was pitching, especially right-hand hitters. Chavez
lifts it to left field for Davis. Who would he relate to today physically? Who would a Jim Bibby type look like today?
Let's see. Jim was probably 6'5", 250. Without an ounce of fat on him. He's just a big, strong guy. Looked like a tight end. So who would that be? He was built kind of like Josh, maybe, only a little bit bulkier, or maybe an inch or 2 taller, something like that. Just looked like a football player, strong-looking athlete.
Strike 1 to Kinsler, who's lined to left and struck out.
He had huge hands. The ball looked like a pool ball in his hands, and that was one of his problems early, was controlling the fastball when it was so small in his hand.
Now, do you remember this? A month and a day before that no-hitter, he one-hit Kansas City, beat them 3-0.
I just remember Kansas City had a great. Oakland did too. Had a really good team back then. And a guy like Amos Otis didn't want any part of Jim Bibby. Amos was a terrific player, too.
One hit that day, June 29th, 73, a Fran Healy double in the 6th inning.
Wow.
Winning that game 3-0.
Fran must have stepped toward third base, closed his eyes, and swung to do that.
Kinsler lays off the breaking ball.
And Jim really didn't have much in the way of an off-speed pitch. He threw mid-90s fastball and probably a mid to upper 80s slider, and that was pretty much it. Occasionally he tried to throw a curveball, but he didn't really throw a changeup.
I remember him as kind of a J.R. Richard presence on the mound.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. Might have been about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger in the shoulders, but similar.
Well, Kinsler finally gets a shot to fall in, and ending an 0-for-21, which had a lot of line drive outs in there. Second hard hit ball, and he gets a base hit. That is the 5th for the Rangers off of Brad Mills. And with 1 out, here is Omar Quintanilla, who has struck out and flied to deep right. Jays will consider Kinsler a stolen base threat, but he has not attempted a stolen base in the last 21 games. Still 10th in the league with 19, including 18 straight.
Well, if he can get a jump, this is a great time to go right here.
Kinsler has not been thrown out since April 15th. But obviously part of that is he has not been running at all for a number of weeks now. And just a fake by Mills has him diving back. So he's definitely got Brad Mills' attention here with one out. Quintanilla waiting patiently at the plate. Seeing his first action since Monday, and he takes high. Last time up, a 1-0 pitch, 2 outs in the third inning, and it became a real challenge for Thames and the Sun.
He's got a pretty good idea where it is, but he doesn't see it all together until right at the end when he made that stab for it and caught it.
Fantastic reflexes.
Yeah, it really was.
2-0. Arancibia threatening the snap throw.
There's a situation where Ron might say, let's put the runner in motion. Mills 2-0 now to Quintanilla, really needs to throw a strike right here. You don't want to put 2 men on for Michael Young and Napoli. So anticipating a fastball and a strike and contact, you might choose to run the runner right here.
In there with a strike, looked like his newly developed cutter, and it's 2-1. Blue Jays only 2 base hits through 4 off of Derek Holland. The Rangers try to add to his lead here. And a 3-1 count now. This is just the second time that Mills has gone to as many as 3 balls. First time he walked David Murphy to load the bases last inning. But then Davis grounded into a fielder's choice. And lifted foul to left, and is 3-2. It's just the second series the Rangers have played this year on artificial turf. It is not popular in the Rangers clubhouse. They're 6-17 on turf the last 3 years. 2-8 last year.
Fortunately, 3 wins came on the turf in postseason last year in Tampa Bay.
Didn't bother him then. Kinsler taking off as it is chopped foul right to Gary Pettis. And Josh Hamilton talking before the game about the effect of the turf and the fact that he had the day off and had not had a rest straight through the All-Star break. And he said a day game after a night game, yeah, the turf definitely accentuates the fatigue that you're already dealing with. So he's not a big fan of the surface. Expect him back in the lineup tomorrow against Brandon Morrow. Kinsler again going, and that keeps the Rangers out of the potential double play. 2 outs now, in scoring position for Michael Young, who is batting third in Hamilton's usual slot today. Mills has handled him so far with a grounder to third and a fly to left. This will be pitch number 75 for Mills. 49 strikes, 25 balls. And he gets that 84-mile-an-hour pitch up there, but he gets a swing and a miss on it again. Michael all year in the top 2 with runners in scoring position. And at the moment, he's been passed by Victor Martinez of the Tigers, who the Rangers see next on this road trip. Martinez hitting .402 now with runners in scoring position. Rangers in Detroit Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday afternoon to close out that season series. Trying to take care of the Blue Jays here today, and even this series at a game apiece. Long look back at Kinsler, and the curve stays high. Hills did not have to work behind very many batters at all until the 4th. Out of play, 2-2. Waiting 1 year in the draft turned out to be a great decision for Brad Mills. 22nd round pick by the Jays, 06. As we said, he wanted to stay at Arizona, finish his civil engineering degree. Next year, he moved up 18 rounds and signed as a 4th round pick.
Probably made himself a couple $100,000.
$140,000.
That's what he made. That was a good move. And you can never discount what that extra year of college over a lifetime does for you. That can be just as valuable and a lot more, really.
Well, he gets Michael Young on that tantalizingly slow breaking ball. 3rd strikeout for Mills. Kinsler left at second. iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more by texting @BAT to 31826, or you can visit TexasRangers.com for details. Derek Holland works to the bottom 3rd of the order here in the 5th. Davis, McDonald, and Arancibia. 51 pitches, just 15 in the last 2 innings, getting the Blue Jays in order in each case. 7 straight retired. Davis came up with 2 outs, nobody on in the 2nd, and Holland walked him. That created the only challenge he's had to deal with so far today. As the next batter, McDonald, reached on a bunt single, and Holland's throw got past Michael Young for an E1, so he had 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, but he struck out Arancibia looking, and he strikes out Davis swinging here.
Nice changeup.
And let's go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studio now for a McDonald's Dollar Drink Game Break. All right, thanks Tim Matthews in the studio. Here's McDonald.
Well, you want to talk fastball command and mixing in the off-speed pitches. You've got Derek Holland through 4 1/3. He is popping that fastball where Napoli puts his glove, one right after the other.
This is Holland in his 3 shutout form.
Yeah, this is a good team he's pitching against too. They can score.
Today they only have 2 infield hits, McDonald's and Bautista's back in the 1st.
And you look at the hits that they had.
Nice pickup by Quintanilla, ranging to his right into the hole.
Bautista's is a pop-up to second base that fell because Michael lost it in the sun. And McDonald's is a bunt almost back to the mound that Derek threw away at first base. So, the two hits are barely hits to begin with. That's how well he's pitched so far today. That's pretty well hit ball there by McDonald. Omar's in position to make the backhand play on it, though.
And strike one to J.P. Arancibia, who worked the count full with that second and third two-out threat in the second inning, but then got caught looking.
Oh, sinker on the outside corner and a good curveball for a strike.
Look at that ratio. They're just all working just about everything he throws today.
This kind of stuff through 5 innings is the kind of stuff that gets any big league team out. Wow.
Three pitches.
That's being overmatched right there. The last 9 hitters have been completely overmatched.
10 pitches this time. 6 pitches in the third, 9 in the fourth, 10 in a 1-2-3 fifth. Plus dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. And the Rangers today are hitting for William Ford from Copperas Cove. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, William Ford of Copperas Cove wins $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. Some power bats here to lead things off in the 6th against Brad Mills. Napoli, Moreland, and then Torrealba. Napoli and Moreland, the offensive difference in this game. Mike Single leading off the second inning, and the next batter was Moreland, who drove it out to right field. Mills last time got Napoli on a grounder to short. The top hitter in baseball in the month of July at .434. That's in 16 games after it came off the disabled list on the 4th of July. That seems a distant memory when Mike was bothered by the oblique issue. He has come back and has not stopped hitting since he was returned to the roster. And it's been home and road. He's now hit in 8 straight road games, 14 for his last 28. That pop-up will reach the seats with 22,560 at Rogers Center today. And your schedule tomorrow has a different start time than the one that will actually be observed. It'll be a 12:30 telecast tomorrow for the final game of this series. C.J. Wilson against Brandon Morrow. So that one just misses away, 3-2. Tomorrow's late start because they are honoring Hall of Famer Roberto Alomar before the game, retiring his number 12. And he's been on hand for both first 2 games of this series as Napoli sends that one almost at roof level out into left field for Davis.
Another just missed him.
So that is our Nissan pitching matchup for tomorrow. C.J. Wilson, another crack at his 11th win against the hard-throwing Morrow. 12:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Brandon Morrow has thrown 105 innings and struck out 122 batters. One of the hard throwers in baseball. One out here in the 6th. There's Moreland, who has reached both times the home run, and last time he was hit on the back on an 0-2 pitch. That happened with 2 outs in the 4th, and it turned into a good threat for the Rangers. Torrealba followed with a single. Murphy with a walk to load the bases. But Mills recovered to get a fielder's choice ground ball from Davis. Behind him here, 3 balls and no strikes. Blue Jays have got to be overjoyed at what they've seen from the man that replaced JoJo Reyes in the rotation. Reyes designated for assignment. Basically, the Rangers knocked him out of a job.
Reyes is a similar kind of pitcher, but he really didn't have the quality off-speed pitches, and the Rangers just tattooed his 91-mile-an-hour fastball. But both Cecil and Mills, while they're not necessarily similar in styles at all, they do feature a lot of off-speed pitches, and that type of a pitcher, left-hand pitcher with good off-speed pitches and pretty good command of them, giving the Rangers some problems, obviously.
Reyes last Friday night in Arlington, 4 to third innings, 8 runs on 8 hits, as the Rangers went on to win 12-2 behind Colby Lewis. So Mills in that spot now. He comes back to strike out Moreland. 4th strikeout on the day. Worked up high in the zone. Retires Mitch for the first time. Now here's Torrealba, 1 for 2. First time up, a grounder to short. This is now the 3rd time through the order for the Rangers, halfway through. He's thrown some of his best pitches, only the single by Kinsler. And now the Rangers keep kind of flailing at that slow, low 70s breaking ball.
Yeah, I don't think the Rangers have hit a changeup in the last 2 days.
Seen a lot of them.
Michael hit one that just missed to left field in this game. That's a slight exaggeration. He hit it, just missed it, hit it off the end of the bat.
Bounces the 1-2 pitch. It evens the count. 96 pitches now, 61 strikes through 5 2/3. Got a lot of high pitch counts, especially the last couple of innings. But he gets another grounder to short by Torrealba. Escobar guns him down, and the Rangers retired in order in the top half of the 6th inning. 5 innings, and we'll see his 4 strikeouts.
And you see his 4 pitches. Curveball for a strike, out. Slider for a strikeout. Changeup for a strikeout. And fastball for a strikeout. So he's had 4 strikeouts. He's got 1 with each pitch that he throws. And each pitch that he throws has been working for him well today, especially the fastball. 2 hits, a blooper that was lost in the sun and a bunt that he should have made the play on. You know, after that bunt that Derek threw away, put men on 2nd and 3rd, Ron Washington went out to the mound. Not Mike Maddox, Ron Washington, to deliver a little bit of a message. And this message is not how you doing, what are you doing for dinner tonight. This is a message of get going, let's get the job done. And since that time, he's retired 10 straight with 4 strikeouts. So if a manager ever delivered a very effective message, that was it.
And he has retired the last 10 straight. You said the last 9. needing only a total of 25 pitches. Backhand pickup here. Kinsler makes that play look so easy. And an argument here is Escobar is thrown out of the game by Marvin Hudson.
Well, I don't think he was off the bag either. It looks like he's off the bag, but I think when Michael caught the ball, he was on the bag. And I'm glad Escobar's out of the game. It means the next time his bat comes up, it won't be him. It'll be somebody else. A nice play by Ian. He just makes that play look so routine, and it's not routine at all when you have to go that far to catch the ball and then throw it from center field. Michael's on the bag, and then he comes off. So he's kicked out of the game for nothing. He's on the bag. It looks like he's off the bag because he's coming off the bag as he catches it. And I don't think Escobar saw him catch the ball. He just saw him dragging his foot off the bags. In any event, nice game, Unell. Glad you're gone. He's out. He's on the bag.
Pretty irrefutable right there.
Yep.
So
it always looks like the guy pulls his foot off the bag because it tricks the eye. But the slow motion camera doesn't get tricked.
Holland retired Escobar all 3 times on ground balls. He's gotten Rasmus on a pop to short and a grounder to Kinsler. And Colby now 0 for 10 as a Blue Jay.
Marvin Hudson didn't waste any time throwing him out of the game. He must have said the magic word or the magic sentence in a hurry.
John Farrell out after Escobar had been tossed, but to no avail. The decision had been made long before he arrived on the scene. Pop up. Murphy in, Quintanilla out, and Murphy is there. Fox Sports Southwest and the Texas Rangers have teamed up with Carter Blood Care for the Great American Give. When you give blood to Carter Blood Care in August, you'll automatically be registered for a chance to win a Fox Sports Southwest VIP experience at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. 12 in a row sat down by Holland. Here's Bautista, who has one of their 2 hits. A 2-out pop-up in the first that Michael Young lost in the sun, and that is the first base hit to the outfield, and one of the few hard hit balls all day off of Holland.
Well, Bautista's been having a hard time handling the fastball, especially the fastball away. But that fastball, you can see where the location was, came back in the center of the plate. When Ogando last night and Holland this afternoon throws the mid-90s fastball on the outside part of the plate, Bautista really hasn't been able to handle it. But he handled that one in the center of the plate. And for a single.
Here's Adam Lind. And Holland out in front. Lind is grounded to short and struck out, but still a dangerous spot here because before today he was 4 for 8 with a homer against Derek. At the moment, though, he's 0 for his last 13. And they're just not going to keep Bautista off the base very often. 90 of 96 games he's reached with all those homers and walks. 2 singles today. Good pitch to Lynn and a toss from Napoli. Keep Bautista tight at the bag at first base, and it's 0-2.
2 quality pitches after the one that he missed with to Bautista. Come back to Lind and made 2 great pitches to get ahead in the count.
This is only his 71st pitch, and right back to him.
Nice slider. That'll do it.
So Holland had retired 12 straight, gives up the single to Bautista, needs all of 11 pitches in the 6th inning. He is rolling in Toronto. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. This was earlier. Tom Grieve arriving at the Rogers Center. Taking a shortcut from the hotel. Some of us have to ride the bus.
Yep. Maybe next year I'll invite you out there.
If I'm good?
Yep. We'll see how things go.
Strike one to David Murphy. So my ship might come in next year.
It might.
Aaron Hill.
I'm not making any promises.
No. I need the motivation, I guess. Hill at second. McDonald moves from second to short for the ejected Escobar. And boy, that pitch continues to have Ranger hitters just flailing away at it. 0-2 to Murphy. This next pitch will be Mills' 100th. And up the middle, and the new man in the infield, McDonald, takes care of Murphy.
And McDonald took Escobar's place, and looks like Aaron Hill has gone into second base. And McDonald's a very good defensive utility player. He plays all the infield positions well.
One gone in the seventh. Here's Chris Davis, who has grounded into an inning-ending double play and into an inning-ending fielder's choice to leave the bases loaded in the fourth. If not for the afternoon that Holland has had, the story would be, wow, what a job by Brad Mills, coming straight up from AAA Las Vegas. 2 runs on 5 hits into the 7th inning. Blue Jays have got to be delighted at what they've seen from him. He just doesn't have the big swing that Brett Cecil got last night. The Rangers were also held to 2 runs. And that is credit to Derek Holland. Today the Rangers got that big swing. A 2-run homer in the second by Mitch Moreland. Otherwise they have only 4 hits. Well hit right field. That is in there and headed to the wall. Chris Davis into second base with a double.
Yeah, there's a good swing by Chris, trying to throw it down and away. He hits the center of the plate, and Chris puts a nice swing on it. Rips that ball for a double. Rangers trying to add an insurance runner more here.
Chris Davis safe at second, safe and secure. New York life. So there's the 6th Ranger hit off of Brad Mills, who had sat down 6 straight 8 of the last 9. And with 1 out, here's Endy Chavez, 0 for 2. Another curve for a strike. Endy has bunted back to the mound, trying to bunt his way on leading off the 3rd and fly to left leading off the 5th.
And Aaron Sibia is out to the mound because he was fooled by that curveball. Saw that happen to Mike Napoli the other night. He thought it was a fastball, reached up to catch the fastball, had to readjust straight down for the overhand curveball. And when that happens, the catcher invariably goes back out to the mound just to make sure they got the sign straight. And it comes into play generally with a man at second base when they change the signs to keep him from finding out and relaying it to the hitter, because he can see the catcher's signs.
And McDonald sneaking in behind Davis for the throw at second. This is an instance where the hitter really has to be listening as well as watching. Hopefully you hear the footsteps coming in from behind you.
Yeah, and that particular case, when a runner at second is off the bag, you're going by the third base coach. You're listening for the third base coach. I mean, it's great if you sense him behind you, if you can hear him or see him out of your peripheral vision. But basically what the third base coach tells the runner at second, I've got the shortstop. You watch the pitcher and listen to me. And as soon as Dave sees that guy break, he screams, get back. And that's when the runner will react. And, you know, he might inch a little closer and Dave might yell out, watch out now, watch out, be careful, just to alert the runner that he might be coming behind him. But you're depending on the third base coach, and anything you can pick up on your own is great, but you can't count on that.
2-1 pitch into center field. Rasmus going back, disappearing into the shadows. Davis is headed for third, and he is in there standing with 2 outs.
And Rasmus has got some kind of arm, boy. Threw that thing from a shadow out in center field and made a play out of it. And a good deke by Bautista at third base, who just stood there like nothing was on its way. Slapped the tag on real quick. Look at that throw, all the way from the shadow. And then Bautista catches it and slaps the tag on him.
He's a 5-tool guy. That's what the scouting reports have said about Colby Rasmus for years.
Well, we saw the throwing firsthand right there.
Well, Mills now at 109 pitches, 70 for strikes. Jesse Litch also just up from AAA Las Vegas. Right-hander ready in the bullpen with the right-handed Ian Kinsler, the next hitter. But Mills will be left in to try and get through this 7th inning.
And the way Cecil pitched last night, the way Mills is pitching today, I think we'd almost rather see anyone come out of their bullpen than those 2 left-handers, the way they've handled the Ranger hitters.
So he talks John Farrell into one more batter, although it would appear that that one batter will be intentionally walked.
Well, you got a left-hand hitter, Quintanilla, coming up next, and first base is open. And so, not sure who's in the bullpen. Jesse Litch was warming up. He's a right-hander. I don't think you'd take the lefty out to have a right-hander face the left-hand hitter.
So Farrell just deciding he likes a matchup of Mills and Quintanilla, who's 0 for 3 today, better than Litch against Kinsler. So Ian trots down to first. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. And here is Omar, who has struck out, fly to right, and grounded to second.
Yeah, he swung the bat okay after he struck out. He had that fly ball to right field that was sky high that he hit on the good part of the bat and just popped it up a little bit. So he'll be bearing down trying to get that run in right here. 5 lefties in the lineup for the Rangers against the left-hand hitter pitcher. Davis has a double. Murphy has a single. Moreland has a 2-run homer. See if Quintanilla can do something against the lefty right here.
Well placed breaking ball for a strike right there. I would have to think the Blue Jays never dreamed they would get 115 pitches out of Brad Mills today, just up from Las Vegas. But that's what he's about to throw. And it's 0-2.
Well, they're thinking if they can get 7 innings from him before the game started and only 2 runs, that they'll be in pretty good shape. Fortunately, Derek Holland has been up to the task himself.
And Mills starting to hear the appreciation from 22,560 here at Rogers Center. He was 9-7 in 20 starts at Vegas, an ERA just under 4, about a hit per inning. Today, 2 runs on 6 hits, with 4 strikeouts. 2 walks, 1 intentional, and a hit batter. Davis at third after a double with 1 out. Look at Kinsler at first, and he strikes out Quintanilla to get out of that jam. His 5th strikeout, 117 pitches through 7 innings for Brad Mills. Very good, just not quite Derek Holland good today. About Chevy Youth Baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve, bottom of the 7th in Toronto. And Derek Holland gets a first pitch pop-up off the bat of Encarnacion. And it is Ian Kinsler's. Encarnacion 0 for 3 after reaching all 4 times last night. A couple doubles and a couple of walks. So Mills, in 7 innings, 117 pitches, 2 runs, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, couple of walks. Holland threw 6 1/3, only 72 pitches, only 20 balls. He's gotten Thames on a couple of grounders to first and back to the mound. And the efficiency, Tom, is just as good as we've seen, I think, maybe from any starter all year. These last 4 innings, 6 pitches in the 3rd, got him in order, 9 in the 4th in order, 10 in the 5th in order, 11 pitches in the 6th, including the 2-out single by Bautista. 2 pitches here. He gets a foul pop, and Napoli is there for the 2nd out.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. He started off throwing the ball great. He had a little blip in the 2nd inning with a 2-out walk to Davis, threw away the bunt. Ron Washington went out and had a very, I don't know what you would call the conversation other than it wasn't out there to talk pleasantries. He went out there to chew them out and tell them, let's get going here, bear down. And when the manager goes out early in the game like that, not the pitching coach, he wants to deliver a specific message right straight from the manager's mouth to Derek. And since that time, he's been just about impeccable. He's only had the 1 base runner, and that was the base hit by Bautista. And he's been working quickly and just pinpoint with his fastball and mixing in his breaking ball. It's been very impressive.
2 pitches to Davis. 5 pitches in a 1-2-3 7th inning. Derek Holland 6 outs away from his 4th shutout this year. 4 tickets, hot dogs, and Cokes, plus $20 in Sports Spark tokens and 1 souvenir program. Order online at TexasRangers.com/family. What a day for Derek Holland. 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball. 3 singles, only 1 of which got out of the infield. And now Jesse Litch takes over, also just called up from AAA Las Vegas, as was the starter Brad Mills. And this is just the 2nd relief appearance in Jesse Litch's career, his 69th major league outing. Strictly a starter, with the exception of 1 outing in 2008. He made 28 starts that year, 1 relief appearance. That was by far his best year. He went 13-9 with a 3.58 ERA.
He pretty much cuts his fastball. He likes to do that on most of his fastballs, and he doesn't drop off much velocity when he does it. Last 2 he's thrown, 89, 91.
Which a 24th round pick, 2004. And 2-2 to Young.
And more of a slider right there at 84 miles an hour.
After that good 08 season, he underwent Tommy John surgery, April of 09. Still basically trying to come back to that pre-surgical level. Our Verizon call to the bullpen of these previous 8 outings this year, all starts. 46 in the 3rd innings, 48 hits, 6 of those home runs. He strikes out Young to begin the 8th. Michael 0 for 4 today, a couple of strikeouts. That'll bring up Napoli. The Rangers lead this because of a 2-batter stretch in the 2nd. Mike led off with a single. 2 pitches later, Mitch Moreland left the yard to right field. Other than those hits, the Rangers only had 4 the rest of the 7 innings thrown by Brad Mills. And they have left 6 men on, including the bases loaded in the 5th. Last night they left 8, getting 10 base hits. But the only 2 runs were on solo homers by Cruz and Napoli. Against Cecil and Rausch. Frank Francisco also pitched a scoreless 8th. That one sends Rasmus back again into the shadows in the deep center, and it is gone. Mike Napoli, another home run, and it's 3-0.
All I can say about Napoli is he's a force right now. He's a middle of the order guy, the way he's swinging the bat. He had a pop up to left field his last time up that almost hit the roof, that he just missed a home run against Mills. And now against Jesse Litch, he deposits this, a slider down over the center field wall over 400 feet away. And he is really swinging the bat well right now. Nice little insurance run right there for Derek.
Here's Moreland. Napoli homering last night in a loss. That had not happened all year. They were 12-0 before last night when he went deep, and he's done it again today. What a swath he is cutting through the American League this month of July. 2 for 4 today. 19 for 38. 500 he has hit now in 11 games. And that home run ratio has now exceeded that of Nelson Cruz. Which takes care of Mitch Moreland, his 2nd strikeout here in the 8th. Napoli started the day the best hitter in baseball in July, 434, and 2 for 4 is going to improve that even. So with 2 outs, here's Torrealba, a single in between 2 grounders to short. Rich throwing 90. That's got to appear much faster after the soft tossing Mills 87-88. Here's a new acquisition, a former Jay who's returned to the fold, left-hander Trevor Miller. Part of the 8-player deal that also brought Rasmus from St. Louis. Which, as a starter with Las Vegas, didn't pitch well at all. An 8.16 earned run average, a 1-2 record in 6 outings. Spent some time on the DL with the right shoulder. Originally suffered back in May. The Jays have completely revamped their bullpen since just last weekend when they were in Arlington. Torrealba looks at strike 3. Litch strikes out the side, except for The home run to straightaway center field by Mike Napoli. To the bottom of the 8th, it's 3-0. John McDonald leads off the 8th inning for the Blue Jays and takes outside, and he will try to get something going here against Derek Holland, who has been almost untouchable today. Lifted down the right field line. Over is Mitch Moreland into foul territory, and another 2-pitch out.
Yeah, these balls aren't being hit hard either. These are balls that they're just overmatched with.
Holland throwing all his pitches for strikes at will all day long. And he has struck out Aaron Sivia both times. Last 5 starts. This includes the one in which he struggled at the Angels, but a 173 earned run average. Into the hole, picked up by Quintanilla, but no chance to get Aaron Sivia. And the Blue Jays have just their 4th base hit, but their 3rd infield hit. The only traditional hit was Bautista's back in the 6th.
If Omar could have somehow from way back there made an accurate throw, he probably would have gotten there in Sivia, the catcher. But that's a tall order from way out there. As far as he had to go to get that ball, is a nice try.
That brings up Aaron Hill batting for the first time after replacing the ejected Yunel Escobar, who was thrown out for arguing play at first base in the 6th inning. Escobar went 0 for 3. Hill behind 0-2. Mark Lowe throwing in the Ranger bullpen. Should Holland get into further trouble, it's definitely not to do with his pitch count. He's only at 81 pitches, 58 for strikes. Could be 2. 1-6-3. How about that? And again, Holland faces the minimum 3, throwing 6 pitches in the 8th inning.
I'm predicting 5 in the 9th.
In the major leagues this year, Cliff Lee has thrown 4. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Dave Fardette and Tom Grieve. We reached the 9th inning, 3-0 Rangers. And the 3rd Toronto pitcher of the day is the 38-year-old left-hander Trevor Miller, just over in the 8-player trade with St. Louis a couple days ago. And he faces the left-handed bottom 3rd of the order here. Murphy, Davis, and Chavez are the scheduled hitters. Murphy, an infield hit. First time up, then a walk and a grounded to short. Trevor Miller, the very definition of the well-traveled veteran left-hander at age 38. Second time through Toronto. He was here in 2003. Since then, a couple of years in Tampa Bay, a couple in Houston, back to Tampa Bay in 08, the last 2 with St. Louis. Originally up back in 1996 with Detroit. Up the middle, and David Murphy has a 2-hit game. Couple of hits, lefty on lefty for Murphy. The Rangers now out hitting Toronto 8-4. Last night they also doubled them up, out hitting them 10-5. But today the Rangers with all their runs on home runs for the second straight day. Chris Davis doubled his last time up. Miller out in front of Chris. No balls and 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, the Blue Jays will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Rasmus, Bautista, and Lind. Bautista has 2 of their 4 hits off of Holland. The other 2 are both 0 for 3. What a performance from Derek through 8 innings. He has seemed to be able to throw it wherever he wanted today. Wherever Mike Napoli's target was, that's where it was headed. Right-hander Sean Camp begins to throw in the Blue Jay bullpen. Next right-handed hitter scheduled is the leadoff hitter Kinsler. He's a couple batters away. As that pop-up will reach the seats. Ranger bullpen is silent.
As well it should be.
Yes.
You know why you get anybody up in the bullpen unless they've got to get some work in.
Eric Holland already tied for the American League lead with 3 shutouts.
The other side of it is, Dave, last year the Rangers as a team had 7 complete games, let alone shutouts. They had 7 complete games as a team. And that included Cliff Lee for the last 2.5 months of the season. Derek has a chance for his 4th and maybe a shutout.
Miller gets Davis first out of the Ranger ninth.
That's a pretty good slider right there. That's where he wanted to keep it, down and away.
So here's Chavez 0 for 3. Thrown out trying to bunt his way on, leading off the 3rd, and is flied out twice. Before this year, Holland had 1 shutout. It was his rookie year 2 years ago at the Angels. This year, on June 4th at Cleveland, before a big hometown contingent from Newark, Ohio, he 5-hit the Indians, beat them 4-0. And then on July 7th, he 4-hit the A's 6-0. At his next start, he 5-hit Seattle at Safeco Field and beat them 5-0. And he had the trouble after being given the 8-3 lead 2 starts ago at Anaheim. Couldn't get out of the 6th inning of that one, but came back strong. Of course, he left his last start leading 18-1 over the Twins, but Through 6 innings, 5 hits, only an unearned run. And Murphy out at second base.
The pitch is not a strike. It's down and away, and pretty good throw from Aaron Sibby. Got it there in time, even though it was a little bit off target.
So 2 outs, bases empty now for Chavez. A 3-1 pitch on the way. He slaps that one foul. And the other game going in the top of the 7th in the Bronx, and it's 8-2 Yankees over the Orioles. Arancibia chasing this one, but it's on the roof of the dugout. And in about 45 minutes, the Angels get underway at Detroit. Dan Herron will be the starter for LA, 10-6.
Pretty good matchup tomorrow. Justin Verlander and Jared Weaver.
That's about as good a matchup as you can get. 3-2 pitch, and Chavez gets that through the middle.
Just barely.
Barely, but enough. And the Rangers' second hit against Trevor Miller here in the 9th inning.
It's kind of sliced it right off the end of the bat. John Farrell's going to come out and probably bring in a right-hand pitcher to face Ian Kinsler right here, it looks like.
Sean Camp is on his way in. So he'll try and get Kinsler to end the 9th, and then it will be the Blue Jays trying to get something against Holland in the bottom of the offensive highlights today for the Rangers. Mitch Moreland, a 2-run home run in the 2nd inning after a leadoff hit by Napoli. Mike Napoli 1 out in the 8th against Jesse Lynch. Hit that one out to straightaway center field, his 15th home run of the year, and that made it 3-0, and it's still 3-0 as Sean Camp comes in to pitch to Ian Kinsler with 2 outs and Endy Chavez at first base, and a first pitch pop-up out into very shallow right field. Eric Thames comes in for it, and that gets it to the bottom of the 9th inning. Derek Holland trying to tie the Major League high this year with his 4th shutout. Mike Maddox came out for a talk, and immediately Derek retired the next 12 batters he faced. Since then, he has allowed only 2 base runners. On the day, he has allowed only 4 singles, 3 of which are infield singles. As he takes the mound in the bottom of the 9th, Josh Hamilton in the game as a defensive replacement. Had the day off until today. Right now in left field, that moves Murphy from left to right, and Mitch Moreland takes over for Michael Young at first. So here we go in the 9th. Rasmus looks at strike 1. He is 0 for 3 today. 0 for 11 as a Blue Jay.
And it has been the case frequently with Derek. At the end of his time on the mound, he's still throwing hard. That first fastball was 95 miles an hour. Follows it up with another good breaking ball, hard slider. Hasn't had to throw many off-speed pitches because his fastball's been so good and he's had great command with it. But when he's thrown his other pitches, they've been terrific. He's had 4 strikeouts, 1 on a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. And if he can get that slider over, Rasmus is going to have a hard time hitting it. Both of the last 2 a little bit outside.
So 2-2. Derek needed only 6 pitches in the 8th, only 5 in the 7th. And this will be only his 87th pitch of the afternoon. Tim Matthews and Mark McLemore coming up after we're done here on Rangers Live, next on Fox Sports Southwest. right at Moreland. Unassisted for the first out.
A good start to the ninth inning. Get that leadoff hitter. Jumped ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. Couldn't get him to chase a slider. Came back with his fastball. Kept it down. Got the ground ball. Another easy out.
When you take away that second inning, in which he gave up a 2-out walk to Davis, bunt single by McDonald. He threw it away. E1 at first, second and third 2 out. Struck out Aaron Sebia. He has sailed since then.
Well, that easily could have been a quick inning. All he had to do was go right after Rajai Davis, and it would have been a quick inning. Might have learned something from that inning, though. A little message from Ron Washington that certainly has served its purpose since that point in time.
Bautista today, infield single at first to pop up. Michael Young lost in the sun at first. 2-out line drive single to left in the 6th. The only hard hit base hit. One of the few hard hit balls, period, against Derek Holland today. In the American League, he, Jason Vargas, and James Shields all with 3 shutouts. The group with 2 shutouts includes Verlander and Weaver and Heron. But only Cliff Lee, the Phillies, has as many as 4. And Napoli will come out, make sure everything is squared away. Neftali Feliz was up throwing, is no longer throwing. But just in case Blue Jays get anything going here. Now the 1-2 pitch called, strike 3.
Changeup. Started him off with a curveball, finished him off with a changeup. Bautista didn't like it, but that looked like a good pitch. Right down at the lower part of the strike zone. That's definitely a strike, borderline strike.
Ryan Runge liked it. 5th strikeout for Derek Holland. 1 out away, and here is Lynn. Nothing out of the infield from him today. Grounded to short, a strikeout, and a bouncer to the mound. 0 for his last 14. 0-1.
You talk about winding up and throwing the ball where you want to. That is Derek Holland today with his fastball. And it's been a good fastball, too. It's been the mid-90s all day long. .96. That's as high as he's thrown today. And his time is almost done out there. He's throwing just as well now, if not better, at the end of the game than he was at the beginning of the game.
He's thrown 94 pitches, only 26 balls. 1 walk, 4 singles, and his 0-2 pitch off his glove. Quintanilla is there, and Derek Holland has thrown his 4th shutout of the 2011 season. The Rangers even this series at a game apiece, beating the Blue Jays 3-0. And Derek Holland and Cliff Lee stand alone atop Major League Baseball with 4 shutouts apiece.
When you take a pitcher with way above average stuff, mid-90s fastball, and the makings of 4 other pitches that can be above average pitches, and then he puts it all together on any given day, these are the results that you would expect. It doesn't matter who he's pitching against. The Blue Jays have a good, solid offensive team.